Hello and welcome to part 5 of the Archeobotany of EL-HEMMEH. Let's get started. The researcher took samples of different artifacts from both sites within the same site, both from the early pre-pottery era and from the late pre-pottery era. And here's what was found. The researcher found flooring deposits, hearths, ash features, dumps for remnants of flora and fauna after processing, human burial pits, and subterranean trash bins. From those remnants, 99.6% of the non-wood botanical remains were recovered using the flotation process, leaving only a small amount of charcoal remnants being found in that site. A total of 3,817 non-wood botanical specimens were identified. These were then sorted into 66 taxonomic groups by the researcher, and included carbonized seeds, cereal chaff, nutshells, fruit pits, remnants of fruit flesh, and legume pod fragments, and other plant parts, such as seed dispersal mechanisms, wild grass bulbils, and other remnants. Based on his data, the researcher, Dr. White, found that the diet of these people consisted of barley, lentils, and vetch. These specimens represented over half, 59.2% of the total specimens found in that area, with barley being the most numerous of this plant population. In terms of grains, it was a mixture of both wild and cultivated barley. This makes the possibility of both wild and domesticated barley growing in the same field a possibility, or that both wild and cultivated barley may have been independently harvested. Lentils and vetch were also in high numbers within that population. Both the possibility of intensive harvesting from the wild or cultivation are possible. 40.8% of the remaining plant material were of wild species origin. The largest number of wild-type plants include grains of various wild grasses, followed by seed pods of something related to borage, with at least one species of the borage family being processed in this area. There has also been found to be various seeds of the Plantago genus within the plant assemblages. In another contemporary settlement site called the Wadi Jalat 7, at least 5 Plantago species have been used in medical treatment based on current archaeological evidence. Other plants found in EL-HEMMEH include the storkbill plant, which is fully edible in all parts, including the roots. A group of wild legumes called goat's thorn was also found in that area. Remnants of mallow species, alongside wild fig and wild pistachio remnants, were also found. Only small amounts of emmer were found in this area. Within the barley populations, 71% of the grains contain a ripped scar, which indicates freshening activities. They have also found that most of the plant material was cereal in origin, with lentils and vetch being found in lower numbers than cereals. In the wild populations, they have also found that various bulbule-producing grasses, such as Phalaris species and Pua bulbosa, were found in high frequency alongside the other wild plants. Due to the high amount of foodstuff found in that area within the site, this may indicate that that part of the site was used for cooking purposes. Now on to the late pre-pottery era remnants. In the parts of the EL-HEMMEH site that had late pre-pottery artifacts, here's what was found. They found 86 types of taxonomic groups of plant, which include cereal grains, cereal chaff, large-seeded legumes, small-seeded legumes, and wild grasses, as well as other wild/weedy taxa, and various fruits and nuts. In this era of the pre-pottery era, emmer wheat grains were increasing in large amounts based on the increased amount of emmer found in this area, although barley still overtook emmer by a considerable margin, with 50% of the emmer found in this site being dated to the late parts of the pre-pottery era. The emmer wheat has a rough abscission scar. This suggests that the wheat found was fully domesticated, and as such must have come from a different area of the Levant before being adopted by the EL-HEMMEH people during that time period. Barley chaff, however, contains equal amounts of rough and smooth abscission scars, indicating both partly domesticated and fully domesticated barley, indicating crossbreeding between wild barley and cultivated barley. When compared to the earlier parts of the pre-pottery era, large legumes were present in much lower numbers, suggesting a decreased reliance on large legumes as a staple food source during this time period. The legumes fall into the size range of both wild and domesticated types, making it difficult to indicate if they are one or the other. In both eras, small legumes were found in similar numbers. They found different species in the Astragalus genus, the Melitotis genus, and the Trigonella genus, although specific species could not be identified due to poor preservation. Dr. White has also found Lolium species and Phalaris species, both of which are wild grasses, and both of which are likely weeds in cultivated cereal fields, although Lolium did not appear in the earlier parts of the pre-pottery era. And since Lolium is often found in wheat fields as a weed, it may have been an invasive species to that region. They also found seeds of the narrow-leaf stoneweed in that region. They also found remnants of a plant in the Star of Bethlehem genus, a type of bulb plant. They also found remnants of rock rose and heliotropes in that area as well. Dr. White also found horned poppy in that area, as well as various mallow species, as well as remnants of both fig and pistachio. The cooking halves of this area consistently had 20 to 42% grain fragments and 49 to 70% small legumes. This indicates that both of them may have been cooked together. Well, that covers part 5. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to me on BitChute for a greater variety of content, 4 videos a week. And thank you to all my subscribers on both platforms. I appreciate it.